Well, it's the end of Monday night, and I just had a good one. Was in excess of $300. Every time I wanted to take a rest, it would give me another call, and so I went and did another call, and sometimes I'd connect with another one right away before even stopping. Yeah, it was busy. Over 300 on a Monday, that's almost unheard of. And as you can see, they got some Christmas decorations. It's a little more colorful than it usually is. Yeah. A little bit of a bumpy road, too. This is one of those roads that's all concrete. And the concrete is a little bit rough. At least it was up until the last intersection. So if this is the beginning of the week, the rest of the week I think should be really good. Anyways, I'll talk to you real soon now. The Tuesday night was another $300 night. It was very smooth. It went well. I didn't have any trouble from anyone. Everyone paid. Some of the tips were generous, and some of the people were really cheap. I'll tell you, some people were really cheap. You know, we'd be a block away from the guy's destination, and then he would say, "Oh, stop right here. All I want to pay is $10. Like it would have been $10 and maybe 30 cents. But no, all he wanted to pay was $10. Well, now we're downtown. I just dropped off. Picked up this girl from an old folks home, and she's like a young girl. She's in her teens, and she wants to go to the Burger King downtown. Why is the Burger King so popular among people who, I don't know, who are just on the sketchy side? And we're a block away from the Burger King, and she says, "Do you have a cell phone I can borrow so that I can call my uncle who's at the Burger King because he's paying?" It's like, ugh, I don't like this, but okay. I say, well, why don't we just pull up in front of the Burger King and see if he comes out? Look at my dirty windshield. Day shift didn't clean the car. He showed up half an hour late with a dirty car, saying that he had this customer who wanted him to wait for him. But the time at which he had that customer, okay, I was stepping out my door at 6:15 at my place, and I walked 5-minute walk to come and get this thing. And just as I'm stepping out my door at 6:15, there's a message on my phone. It goes ding. And the message says, "I'm waiting on Burnside with the meter running, going to clear at the Sandman. Hopefully I'll be back by 6:30. Well, 6:35 rolls around, and he shows up. And he didn't wash the car. It looks like he fueled up, but he didn't wash the car. And so, well, I was going to wash the car anyway, but I feel like giving it back to him dirty. Just one of those things. Here's a total slob about it. Now, I didn't wash the car in the morning before that because it was raining. It was pissing rain. We were even getting some hailstones or sleet or whatever you want to call it. Little bits of ice were falling out of the sky and hitting the ground and bouncing. And I didn't wash the mats because it was raining. I wasn't gonna wash the car in the rain and hose the mats down in the rain. Anyway, this was 2 successful nights in a row, so yeah, okay, I'll wash the car, but... And I got somewhere to be this morning, so I'm not gonna keep the car late. I just hate having the feeling that somebody's trying to take advantage of me. He should not have taken the trip that late. At 5:30, he should have pulled the plug and parked it, or washed it and fueled it and parked it, just like I'm about to do now. It is 5:28 a.m. Car's due back at 6. He probably won't show up by 7, but like I said, I got somewhere to be. Well, I guess I'll talk to you sooner. Tuesday evening. No, Wednesday evening. Traffic is more retarded than usual. There are cars lined up at traffic lights, and if you look at the highway, everything's on the highway. Well, now there's a gap in the highway. This here should have been an overpass a long time ago, but no, it's not going to be an overpass because they put a big building right there, and there's a gas station on that side. So there's no room for on-ramps and off-ramps. This is the way they do things in Victoria. Make sure traffic doesn't get anywhere at all. Well, it looks like there's a lull in the action now, in that we don't have that many calls, so I just got into this zone here and I'm 4th in the zone. It may take me a while to get another call. With the thickness of the traffic, I'm not taking a call in another zone. I'm going to take a call in the zone where I am. And here we are, just turning onto the highway, and oh, look. More and more traffic. I'll let you know how it went at the end of the night. It is now almost 4 o'clock, and I'm just on a thing called the Langford Parkway, which makes very little sense at all because it's got roundabouts in the middle of it, and these roundabouts are just, well, just have a look at this. It's silly. It could go straight through, and it's basically a T intersection. There's the T, and there's the, yeah, and there's nothing going that way. So it's like, it's a stupid, and look at a crooked street. They could have made this whole thing straight. And there's like all these businesses on the right side. Yeah, it's been a good night. It's 4 o'clock, so I've been out here like 9.5 hours, and I've got over 300 on right now. I just dropped off out here in Langford, and I'm gonna head back into town. Should take me about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna just enjoy watching the movie that I'm watching. It's called Voyage to the Center of Time or something like that. It's a science fiction thing from the 60s, which is kind of like the genre that I enjoy a lot. I just saw this other movie called A Family Thing. It was about, well, that's what it was called, A Family Thing, from the 90s. I think it was made in 1997 or something like that. That was good. That was good too. And is this light gonna change? There it is. Okay. Well, if anything memorable happens between now and 6 in the morning, the next 2 hours, I'll let you know. But so far, so good. It's over 300 so far. I'm pleased with that. I'm happy. Yeah. Oh, this was the Wednesday night, so it's Thursday morning. Got 2 more to go. I just had a rather creepy guy in my cab. He called, and I was sent to an apartment building, and apparently when I called him, I said, I'm right outside, and he says, outside 135, and I said, well, no, I was sent to 155, so that's where I am. He says, well, I'm at 135. It's another address, but on the same street. Okay, fine. So I picked him up, and he says, I've got to go find my girlfriend. We had a fight, and she left. Okay. And I said, well, where do you think you'll find her? And do you know what direction she went in? And he says, yeah, she's probably down on Rock Bay. And I said, oh, you could always make sure. Does she have a phone on her? You can call her? He said, no, she's on Rock Bay. No, we saw one girl on Rock Bay, and he called out to her, Debbie, and then she didn't, she walked away. And then he found another girl on Government Street, so she was on the other street, and it wasn't really his girlfriend, it was a hooker he was looking for. Well, he found a hooker, and he was asking questions, so did you have any weird people in your car? Did you have trouble with anyone? And then I thought, wait a minute, this guy does look familiar. I have had trouble with him in the past. Not this time, but in the past. And he went, anyway, he picked up this hooker, and we went to a bank and to get money, but it was a bank where they don't let you in because they're having problems with people sleeping in the entrance of the bank where the bank machine is. So they lock it at night, so you can't get in. And he says, well, take me to the other bank where the drive-thru is. Now, there were several banks between the two, but he wanted to go to that one. Anyways, he went inside, and the girl was in the car with me, and we could see him pulling out his telephone and, I guess, transferring and appropriating funds. And finally he got money out of there, and then he was directing me which way to go back to his apartment. And we got back there, and he paid with Interac. And he was just a sketchy, creepy guy, and I've had him in my car before. He was just bad last time. He's what I would call an asshole. Anyway, he's got his hooker, and he's taken her home, and hopefully she doesn't have a rough time with him, because if I know what kind of a guy this is, he can be a problem. Well, anyway, this is 5:25 in the morning. I've had enough. I almost fell asleep a couple times, or I was falling asleep, and I'm gonna go home. I'm just gonna wash the car and go home. I just dropped off some loud people downtown, and I got a good tip for doing that. But now there were some people on the sidewalk, and one of them looked kind of green, and she was wobbling, and one of her friends came up to me and asked me and said, I have a friend who needs a taxi home, and she looked kind of green and wobbly, And I just said, and she asked, "Are you available?" I said, "No." I just drove away. It's like, I don't want people who don't know how to drink in my car. Thank you very much. It's about 1 o'clock. It's Thursday night. I'm doing okay. I'm not complaining. I'll let you know at the end of the shift how it went. It's going reasonably well right now. Well, here we are again. Let me out of here. You stay there. Okay, airport. It is 4:25 a.m. on a Friday. So it's the end of the Thursday night. And I had a little run to the airport from halfway up the peninsula, so it was only like $25. But still, half of an airport is better than no airport at all. And I still got, an hour and a half to go before the end of my shift. So, and this guy just cut in front of me while I was waiting for the pedestrians to go across. It was another busy one. I don't know how much I have on at the moment because I haven't counted it in a while. I'm trying to watch a movie, The List of Adrian Messenger. And I heard of this movie, long time ago. In fact, long time ago. It's famous, so I had to see it. And so I've been trying to watch this List of Adrian Messenger and kept getting calls. I kept getting calls. And so I didn't see much of the movie at all. Maybe I'll get to see it when I get home in about an hour and a half or 2 hours from now. But yeah, it's been a busy night. Steady, very steady. It started slow like every other night of this week, but as the night goes on, there are people doing things that they don't usually do, things that are not part of their routine. And one of those things is taking cabs. There's people in town visiting from other places, visiting family and friends for the holidays. And so I'm getting a lot of that business. This month of the year, this December, you don't see too many of you see some of the regulars, but a lot of the people you see are people you've never seen before because they're from out of town. So yeah, that's another good one. I'm guessing I'm in the high 200s somewhere. And whatever, it's been a great week so far, but a little tiring because I haven't had a chance to take a sleep at work. And so it goes. Well, I think I'll talk to you tomorrow at the end of the Friday night shift. And here we go to the big clusterfuck of roundabouts. Ugh. Just gets past this stupid thing. Yeah, talk to you sooner. All right, it's just after 6 in the morning, and it's kind of dark around here. This is Belmont Park. Belmont Park is a lot of Navy. It's like part of the Navy base, but it's the residential part, or it's the residential, where sailors live. And yeah, I just got one from town to here. It was like $35. That was nice. And now I'm making my way back to town. I'm done for my night. I did about 400. That wasn't too bad. while it wasn't the most profitable Friday night, the pace was more gentle than usual. And I really needed a more gentle pace because I got real tired from working all week. It was a tiring week, very tiring week. Would high beams help? Well, just a little. Yeah, I'm real tired right now. I had dropped 2 guys off downtown at one point, and I got a call to a restaurant just a block away from the pub where I dropped those 2 guys off. And the couple got in the car and they wanted to go all the way out to Bear Mountain. And Bear Mountain is kind of it's a golf resort, you know. And they got hotels up there and they got condos up there. And I took them up there, and on my way back in, like, they were trying to give me calls out in the western communities, and of course I rejected every one. And then when I was coming back into town, I got a call on Wilkinson, but it was awkward to get to. And then when I got there, I was told by my customer that they first called the cab an hour earlier and to get them out of there. And it was like 4 girls around 20 years old, and they got in, and then they were loud, and they wanted the radio on, and they wanted to sing along with the radio, and it was just terrible music, a lot of Christmas music, and they wanted to sing along to that. It was just, they had these high, shrill voices that really hurt my ears. And then when we're halfway into town, one of them says, "Oh, I forgot my ID." So we had to go, not back where we started, but even further away from town, to the house where she lived to get her ID, because they're really Nazis about IDs here. You gotta have your identification or they won't let you in anywhere. At least if you're that age, you know, if it looks like you could be under 19. And these girls looked like they could have been around, they were around that age. So we had to go further out of town to get their ID. And then we're driving back into town, and it's like I almost had a couple accidents because they were so distracting and loud, and I couldn't concentrate on driving. Whatever, I got them downtown, and then things got better, and it got easier. And I fell asleep a couple times in a parking lot, just didn't sleep enough this week. There's somebody doing renovations in our building, and you know, the first one was last Friday, when it sounded like they were breaking the tiles off the wall in the bathroom, and then at one point it sounded like they were sawing through the floor, and then there was more banging and hammering and more cutting and more shifting heavy stuff around. And of course they would always do this while I'm trying to sleep. And a few times they woke me up from sleeping. And so I didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked. Now I'm heading back into town, and I'm going to... Sorry about the shaky camera or the shaky phone. It's just that I'm tired and I can't hold the thing steady. I hope yours is better than mine. That's pretty gross and disgusting, isn't it? Well, I hope your holiday is better than mine, because this is what I got to put up with right here.